Hey, it's Erica, and welcome to this express all-standing upper body and core workout to develop strength and control. All you'll need is a range of weights, and your warm-up and cool-down are included. Want to help us continue creating free workouts? Join the Fitness Blender channel membership on YouTube and get access to exclusive workout videos plus 5, 10, and 30-day challenges. Or become an FB Plus subscriber on fitnessblender.com for unlimited access to all of our exclusive workouts, training programs, and subscriber-only features at the best price. Warming up, we have 4 exercises, 30 seconds each. We are going to start with our hands behind our head. We're going to bring that same elbow to same knee, and then we're going to cross over the body for opposite elbow to knee, and we're going to go to the other side, okay? So standing up nice and tall, open through that chest. Same and opposite. Same, opposite. So you're growing nice and tall as if someone's lightly pulling a string up through the back of your neck, as opposed to crunching down towards that knee. So you're keeping that chest open, really engaging that full girdle of the core. That's where our focus is going to be for all of our workout today. Okay, coming into an arm swing and an overhead tricep extension. So you can swing those arms up overhead and extend through those triceps. Getting a nice full swing in the arms up to the top, bending at the elbow, keeping those elbows in the same place. And again, thinking about what that core is doing, making sure you're taking any sway out of your low back. Okay, next up, I want you to hinge over, hands behind the head again, and you're going to step back with one leg and lightly twist towards that side. So if I'm stepping back with my left, I'm going to open up through my left. You could also do it the opposite way as well. We're mainly just wanting to warm up that core, warm up that back. Of course, we're working a variety of upper body muscles today, along with that core. Okay, last exercise, alternating knee drives and some bicep curl punches. So you're extending and then flexing as you bring that elbow back in towards the ribs. So you're lifting with that lower section of the core, bringing those knees nice and high, getting that extension. Okay, that is our warm-up. Let's go ahead and get right into the workout. For our workout, we have 7 exercises total. We'll be completing each one twice before moving on. The interval will be 45 seconds active and then 15 seconds of rest. We are going to start by bringing some light to medium weights up to your shoulder, and we're going to do that same knee to elbow. And then in between, we are going to do a close shoulder press. So in a close shoulder press, we have those elbows forward. So we can see them in our peripheral vision as we are pressing overhead. And in between each shoulder press, you're bringing that knee up to meet the elbow as opposed to the elbow meeting the knee, okay? Of course, there's going to be a little bit of a crunch in the side. That elbow will move down a little bit, but more so we want to focus on how high we can hike that knee up. Remember, keeping those elbows in front of you, pressing through the front of the shoulder. So breathing out on the tough part of the motions here. So breathing out when that knee comes up, breathing out as you press overhead, trying to get into a rhythm here. Set those weights down. We have 15 seconds to just shake it out before we see that one more time. So we're going to go back right through that same movement pattern to make it burn that much more. Okay, got those weights loaded. Knee to elbow, press overhead. Make sure before you're pressing overhead, you're grounded in the floor again. You're nice and centered through your body. So each exercise today gets its time to shine. We do it twice, we move on, we don't see it again. The second time through is where you can really perfect your form. You can really dig deep. You could swap out your weights if you felt like that first round it just didn't feel fitting, whether those weights were too much and you lost track of form, Or if it was just too easy, you want to go heavier. Press overhead, keep that core nice and straight. Okay, great. Next up, we are doing a row and a twist, similar to what we saw in the warm-up. So I'm going to grab weights I would use for a close row. We're going to be hinging, rowing those weights up towards the ribs, tiny twist, and then lower back down. So you're barely going to really be able to see this twist here. It's going to look really small, but you're going to feel it. We have some pretty heavy weights in hand. Our back is a very strong set of muscles. So it's almost like you're just kind of wrapping that shoulder behind you. Don't just focus on the back though, really focus on the front of the core as well, wrapping all the way around, nice and tight. If you felt like it was hard to connect to the twist, please lighten your weights right now so you can make sure and really feel that twist and that mechanical movement. Okay, getting ready for round number 2 of these. So you probably saw if you read the write-up that you might not be using your absolute max weights for these upper body exercises. Like I said, we can row pretty heavy. Our back is a big set of muscles, but we have these smaller movements and balance and control elements we've woven in today. So we want to make sure that we're using weights we can handle with those. Elbows nice and high, take that twist, slow and controlled. We've got about 10 more seconds here. And we're moving on. So this time we have some alternating knee drives and a hammer curl. I'm going to stick with the same weights I just used, but if you want to swap them out, feel free to do so. We're beginning in a couple of seconds. So you can first just start with a couple reps of those knee drivers, and then whenever knee is up, that opposite arm is going to be curling, okay? This is level 2. You can stay here if you want. If you want to crank it up a notch, you can balance here and extend that leg straight. So you'll be flexing that quad muscle. What we're also doing is we're giving that core more time to unilaterally balance. And guess what? We're bringing that bicep out a little bit more. So knee raises the same time as that curl. On that curl, I want you to come a little bit above your elbow joint. If we go too high, we might not be fully engaging that bicep. If we go all the way to the top. Very good. Okay, one more chance on those. As you can see, there's a lot going on mentally. There's a lot we don't see that's happening up in our brain to coordinate these movements. So again, lighten your weights, take it one step at a time, starting with those knees, and then adding in that curl. If that is enough, stop here. If you want it a little bit more advanced, you can hold on that curl, extend that leg, flex through that quad. I would also like you to either point or flex your foot. So you want to be thinking about what our whole body is doing. I can only imagine how fast this workout is going to fly by with all that we're busy focused on. So really commit to this 14 minutes of the workout. Very good. Overhead tricep extensions with a slight pivot. I will show you there in the insert what it looks like. We're going to start with that weight overhead. Per usual, we're going to lower and extend overhead. But as you are extending, I want you to pivot away. So I'm just rotating on that toe. That's what's happening. My shoulders and my hips are staying aligned. So there's really no twist through the midsection. But this little pivot is causing a little bit more stability to go on through our core. More total body coordination. Notice nothing is changing in the upper body. So this tricep extension is very safe. It's in alignment. We're just flexing that glute, pivoting a little bit to the side. Adding that instability, like I said, comes right down to our core to keep us balanced. Good. So those triceps should be firing up. Maybe you want to go a little heavier if that pivot felt comfortable. I'm going to stick with what I was at. Let's get ready for round 2 of this exercise. So your overhead, elbows are staying in the same spot. You're lowering that weight behind your head. And then as you come up, you're simultaneously just lightly pivoting to one side. Breathe out as you extend and pivot. Hang in there. Continue to keep those elbows tight to your head instead of fanning them out super wide. Nice and tall through that back. We have 3 exercises left, which means 6 more intervals. I'm going to drop down a couple of pounds for this next one. We're going to be keeping that weight out in front of us. So whatever you feel you can do on your shoulders there. One single weight. You're going to press out. Like you're driving a car, you're going to go one way, then the other way. And when you come in, keep that stance close actually. We're going to crunch, okay? So you're coming out one way, the other way. Bring that weight in. Drive the knee in a slight crunch. Extending back out. Drive. Back in. Little crunch. Bringing that knee up nice and high. Now when you are bringing that weight in, I really want you to press in with those palms. It's going to be harder to do when you're extended, but once you bring it in, really press in so we can get some chest work in this standing position. So as you probably noticed, if that stance is too wide, it's going to be hard to do that crunch. So kind of find somewhere in between where you can be stable for the drivers and you can feel like your balance isn't all over the place when you're driving the knee. Okay, so extending out, focusing on those shoulders as you drive, bring it in, squeeze together on that weight, little crunch. Knee comes up, slight tilt forward with the upper body. And really feel that in your core. You can have your form perfectly right, but if you're not engaging to the squeeze, the contraction going on in your muscle, it's probably not going to feel very rewarding for you. And we certainly want you to walk away from this workout feeling like, wow, I really squeezed everything so hard. I feel thoroughly worked. Okay, next exercise. We have tricep kickbacks. So I'm going to go with some lighter weights here. We also have a bit of a balance element to this one, so you don't want to go extremely heavy on those triceps. But we're going to do the tricep extension. And then I want you to start by just tapping a toe back. Okay, so you're coming out with the leg and out with those arms. If you want to kick it up a notch, you can float that leg, float that foot over the floor, really flex that glute. But what this extension is doing, especially floating it off of the floor, is again causing that instability in your core. When we have one limb that is now balancing out the other side, it takes a little extra work for the body. Continue focusing on those triceps at the same time. There's a lot going on with this one. So revisit what level felt appropriate for you so you can take that into the second round. Whether you just want to tap back or you want to lightly float or you want to keep it higher so you're almost coming into that single leg deadlift positioning. But first, hike those elbows up. Control that tricep extension and then slowly work up the levels again. So you're really feeling that fire up in the upper back of the arm. Your shoulders are relaxed down away from your ears. Last interval for this exercise, and then we just have one more exercise to go. We have 10 seconds. Can you keep going? Can you squeeze everything a little bit more to stay solid? Last exercise, let's focus on the biceps. One single weight. We're going to do a curl and slightly kind of, twisting over that leg. So hold on to that weight in a way that feels comfortable. And then as you lower, you're going to slightly twist to the side. This is a very slight twist. So you shouldn't be lifting your max bicep weight on this one. I tried to do that when I was testing these exercises, and no. We're balancing. We have a little twist. There's a lot going on for our whole body here. Okay? Slightest twist. That leg does not need to come very high. Just float it right off of the floor. Or you can just keep it on the floor in front of you. Still going to create that imbalance. Elbows are tucked in tight. And then we have that second and final round coming up for this exercise. So really keep those elbows in close. We don't want them to come too far out or too far back. Nice and tall. Grab onto that weight. As you lower, slight twist. You probably won't be able to fully extend those arms because your leg's going to be there, which is good. Keeps a little bit more pressure on the biceps. We have our final 20 seconds of this workout portion. What can you do to make this a little more challenging? Can you bring that leg a little higher? Maybe a little bit more of a twist. A little bit more push through those biceps. Or pull, I should say. Very good. Let's put those weights aside. Let's take a water break. And I will see you back here very shortly for our cool down. Our cool down is 4 exercises, 30 seconds each. Again, we will be starting by stepping back to stretch our hip flexor. And then you can bring your arm over to stretch that shoulder out. So kind of a combo here. Flexing that glute behind you to really feel this in the front of the hip. And then incorporating that upper body component, reaching far across your body. Now you can go ahead and take it into a tricep extension with that same arm. Sorry, a tricep stretch. We are done with the extensions, but stretching out that same arm through the tricep. And then we're going to get ready to switch and do this on the other side. Okay, so stepping back, feeling that stretch in your hip, flexing that glute, bringing that arm across. Shoulders away from the ears, relaxing, bringing the shoulder blades together. And then bring it overhead with that same arm to stretch out the back of the arm. Okay, coming into either a cat-cow or some side stretches. I'm going to do half and half. But for a cat-cow, you can do this standing by just keeping those hands on the tops of your knees, rounding, and then arching, stretching out that core. Or you can also just stretch side to side. Okay, last but not least, we're going to do an upper body opener. So you're going to take your hands, clasp them together behind you, grab onto your hands, whatever you need to do to secure it, and then open up through that chest. This exercise is stretching multiple muscles, our biceps, our shoulders, our chest. Try to bring those hands up behind you. Again, relax those shoulders and just open up here. Take a few more deep breaths. My name is Erica. This is a workout complete. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you again soon.